Hello everybody, welcome to my vegetable garden. Behind me you see my green beans and maybe some corn and hopefully not all the weeds. It's virtually impossible to have a weed-free vegetable garden, especially when you're surrounded by fields and there's just lots of weed seeds blowing around. Oregon is green 9, 10, sometimes 12 months out of the year. August is usually the most difficult month to keep things green, but we get so much water during the winter and it stays nice in the topsoil through most of the year, and so the weeds are just as happy thriving as the beneficial plants that we want. So anyway, there's a reason I'm in my vegetable garden today, but I will let you ponder on that for a little bit. No apologies for the time it's taken for me to put another video up. I have been in summer mode for sure. Starting after the Tomorrow's Heirlooms retreat, which was middle-ish of July. The passenger airplanes are flying low today because there's so much wildfire smoke in the air, I guess. I don't know. I'm assuming that's why they're flying low, because they're low enough I can actually see them and they're kind of loud, so it is what it is. We don't actually have any wildfires going on close to here, which is nice, but there's been enough of a low pressure. Hi kitty. Hi. You say hi to all the Flosstubers. He doesn't like being held, so you won't actually see him on this video, but he might meow a few times. Anyway, that's like the third rabbit trail in a row. No wildfires in our part of Oregon, but the low pressure system is bringing the smoke over from the other side of the Cascades. There's a couple of fires burning in eastern Oregon, and there's a cluster of them down in southern Oregon. Too far away for the smoke to be traveling up here though. So anyway, our air quality has not been the best, and it is stinking hot out here, and because of the still air it's kind of humid, but I wanted to be out in the vegetable garden today. So if you don't mind, actually whether you mind or not, I'm going to now put my sunglasses on because it is so bright out here. It's causing me a little bit of pain in my eye sockets. So, but I wanted to at least greet you at the beginning of the video, excuse me while I fluff my hair, with my eyes, and now I will put my super cool by Mart special sunglasses on and just show you a few things. I don't really have an agenda today. I do want to apologize. There were a couple people in the last video that earned the right to adopt a few things, and I have not sent them out. They're still sitting up in my room waiting to be mailed, and they will. You will get them. I've just been relaxed, I guess, and that's a good thing. It's kind of hard when my kids are home to be as driven about my work as I am during the school year, because even on the days when they're schooling at home, they're working. I don't feel so bad about doing my work too. So this summer though, they're just chilling, they're relaxed, and it's rubbing off on me. So anyway, it's just the way it is, and I've been enjoying my summer, so it will remain that way. But I finally do have my beginning of August release ready for you, even though it's not the beginning of August anymore. Oh, and no coffee mug this month, you guys. It's smoothie time. Strawberries from our strawberry bed, which are just now ripening for some weird reason. They're usually a much earlier in the season crop. I think first I am going to show you my project from the Tomorrow's Heirlooms retreat. I was blessed enough to be invited to teach at Tomorrow's Heirlooms, which is just south of Chicago, with Tanya of the Scarlet House, and First of all, she's practically my neighbor at market every year. We're like 3 rooms away from each other, but we're so busy that there's not time to do much more than say hi and bye in passing, and that's it. So to be able to actually spend some good quality time with her over the weekend was really fun. I got to know her better and she got to know me better, and it will make having her as a neighbor at market come March that much more enjoyable. We did not coordinate our projects, but it was really interesting how well they complemented each other. The funny thing is, my color palette that I chose is much more similar to her usual color palette, and vice versa. And so when the Tomorrow's Heirlooms ladies set up the boutique in the room for the retreat attendees to shop, and they put out the sets of threads for the Friday night project, they were out for purchase if somebody wanted to do that little extra project. And had I not known better, I would have walked in and thought that her palette was mine and mine was hers. No planning, it just happened that way. So anyway, the Friday night project, the way this retreat runs is the designers provide a little free chart, and then the shop owners provide the materials to kit it up. And it was this little pin cushion. It says, "Always losing my needles." And then I also charted for the reverse so you could put your initials and date in. And everybody seemed to really like it. The idea came to me as I was muttering to myself about can't find my needles, and I know I have a billion needles around the house. They're all stashed safely in places where nobody's going to step on them or get them stuck in a finger, but I can never seem to find them when I need them. And so now I have a handy little place to put my needles, another place to safely hide them where I won't be able to find them. But that's beside the point. My Saturday class project, the kit came with this box. I found this lovely just graphic, 2 fabrics actually, on fabric.com. One of them says, "I'm a maker, create one day at a time, just keep making, creativity rules," all sorts of things. And the one I put on the sides has, look, it has a little cross-stitch diagram, has little words that have to do with stitching. So I Mod Podged that. Oh, I coffee stained the fabrics, Mod Podged them onto the box, inside and out. I did it for everybody. Am I crazy? I didn't know that you go to a retreat and you actually make the boxes yourselves. Didn't know any better, but you should have heard the gasps of delight from the retreat attendees when they realized that I had already done their boxes for them. So that was worth it. I had a friend help me with it. We also painted all the lids, and then the people at the retreat were provided with everything to do the lid. Need more floss. Of course you need more floss, always. Fancy floss, preferably, but if you're a DMC girl, that's okay, or guy. So they got the chart, they got the fabric, which is Picture This Plus. They got the threads, they got the chenille from Lady Dot, they got the padding and everything to make their own floss box. And then on Sunday, the little bonus project, you hear that? How exciting is that? I have a jar full of thimbles and I made a thimble wrap for it. Buy all the thimbles. Yay! And I even found there's fabric on the back. Here, we'll slip this off of there. Found fabric that's got thimbles all over it. How great is that? So, all retreats are different. Not all retreats ask a designer to have 3 projects. I could have made them not coordinate with each other, but I was on a roll, and there are actually 2 more that go with this set of 3 that I have not quite finished, but all of the ideas just came rolling in and I got them charted, and these 3 worked really well for this retreat. And the benefit of being a retreat attendee is you get a design that's exclusively yours for a period of time. In this case, it's going to be at least a year, might be more than that, 18 months to 2 years before I release them, because I want to develop these other 2 that go along with these 3, and then I'll release them all together in some sort of a booklet, chart pack, I don't know what you want to call it. Anyway, so you can't get your hands on these yet, I'm sorry, but if you love them, you could go out and start collecting thimbles. All you need is a quart-size mason jar. You could even use a new one with a regular lid, or you could get a zinc lid. All the craft stores have them these days, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Craft Warehouse. I used an antique one with the flip top because they're, you know, cool. So get yourself a jar, start collecting thimbles at flea markets. I found mine all on eBay. I just looked for large thimble lots, and I looked for the ones that were the cheapest for the most thimbles. And because for me it wasn't about the quality or collectability of each individual thimble, it was about having a big jar full. And obviously you can see they settle, and I need more, because when I first put them in here they were full up to the neck, and they've like nested inside each other and done all kinds of unmentionable things together in there that I really probably shouldn't be showing on film. Okay, so how many times can I say Speaking of the Tomorrow's Heirlooms retreat, I want to show you what the farm boy made for me. Oh, it's not all gonna fit. Holy cow. Well, we'll just pan up and down. This is a table leg flipped upside down with holes drilled and dowels pushed through, and it goes all the way up to the point. I want to try to find some kind of little finial to go on the top, but that has not been forthwith at this point. Just a square piece of, I don't know, 2x6 on the bottom. And what I did is I filled it up with fobs, and I'm going to insert a little picture of the tree filled with fobs. It was the first time since March that I had all of my fob sets together, because the couple sets that I already had out by March, they've been traveling. They were at Inspired Needle for a while on display, and then they finally met up with me in Chicago. So, but the reason I put this together and brought it out here is I wanted to tell you, if you ever make a fob tree, don't travel with it. Just do yourself the favor of letting your fob tree live at home always and forever. So these come out, which is, you know, nice. I bundled them up, tossed them in my suitcase, fine and good. Well, this part, the middle part, was too long, would not fit in my suitcase. I didn't want to buy a special, it was too long for the box with my models. Didn't want to buy a special box and ship it. I thought, oh, no big deal, I'll just put it in my big tote that I carry onto the airplane with me. So I had it tucked in there with just the end sticking out. So I'm going through, I get to Portland. I usually give myself about 2 hours of time at the airport, which is plenty of time. The line for security is ridiculously long, but come to turn out it's because they had a sniffer dog, and when they have the dogs, it goes pretty quickly. It's a long line, but they go through quickly. So I made it to security, and my bag is going through the x-ray whatever machine. And I see it go off to the side, and I'm like, oh no. It's always something. It's been pin cushions in the past, protein bars another time. I mean, does this face look like I have evil, mean intent? And what am I going to do with a protein bar and some pin cushions that will damage anybody? I don't know. But I guess these items look suspicious. So this time, it was this weird, long wooden thing with holes drilled in it. Yeah. So the guy was really nice. It's Portland. People are so laid back. And he's like, is this yours, ma'am? I said, yeah. He said, what is this? And I tried to describe it to him, and I think he understood what it was, and he said, I know, I'm really sorry. I know that that's what it looks like to you. You don't look like anybody who intends any harm to anybody, but to me, it looks like a potential weapon. And I'm gonna have to confiscate it. I'm like, you can't. You can't have it. I need that in Chicago tomorrow. And he kind of looked at me and he said, well, you could go check it. I said, really? He said, yeah. I said, but I'm gonna have to go through security again, aren't I? Yep, it's your choice. Well, after, oh, it was a project that caused quite a bit of swearing from my farm boy, because the center piece is round and it would roll and the drill wasn't going through straight, and it didn't happen as easily as he wanted it to. And with all of the effort he put into it, I was not about ready to abandon it at the TSA in Portland. So I got escorted to the exit, went out to SkyCap because there was a long line at the check-in, and I held up this wooden thing, bat weapon full of holes at the SkyCap, and I said, can I check this please? They won't let me take it on the plane. And he just kind of chuckled. He said, what is it? And so I told the story again. He's like, okay, I'll go get a bag. So he got one of those really long plastic ski bags, stuffed it in, doubled it up, taped it up. He said, this will be handled with, you know, as something that's fragile because of the nature of what it is. So don't worry about the fact that it's just in plastic. I've tagged it. It'll be good. Sure enough, it's the first off the belt in Chicago. No problem, no damage, it's fine, it's on display all weekend. And then going home, I just wrapped it back up in the same plastic. I checked it at SkyCap, and you know, same thing, we'll treat this really well. So I'm sitting in the airplane on the tarmac, and I'm just kind of watching out the window. There was a delay for some reason, and I watched the little cart roll up with the luggage and everything on it, and here's my white plastic bag with my dowel tree pole in it, and I'm thinking, oh, that's kind of funny. I get to actually see it get loaded on the plane. The guy picks it up off the cart, and he's like, you know, what's this? And he's feeling, and he grabs it, and he whacks his coworker in the butt with it, like, hey, isn't this funny? And tosses it on the tarmac. And I'm like, oh, at least it already got one use, you know, if it just broke, oh well. But I was really hoping that I would get to use it again in the future. It was just funny, but it got home and it wasn't broken, everything was fine. So, I'm sorry. That was a really long story. I found it to be very funny. And I thought maybe you would have some appreciation for it. So, I also want to show you. I was going to put all of the fobs onto the tree to show you, but I figure a picture works, because I also wanted to show you what it looks like to have a dough bowl full of fobs. Oh my gosh, you guys. I have finished every stinking one of these. And I shouldn't say stinking, because they're pretty cute, right? I'm proud of this project, But every month when it nears time to finish another 9 to 12 of them, it feels a little bit like a chore at this point. I don't know how many I've finished, but a small dough bowl full. This is another way you could display them. Just make them and put them in a dough bowl. Let your friends, you know, come over and fondle them. Because, you know, that's what we do, right? So, I thought maybe you would appreciate that. I think maybe it's time to show you. Do you want to see the new ones for this month? Or should I make you wait a little bit longer? I think I'll just go ahead and show you. So, I told you. There's a reason I'm in the vegetable garden, right? So, I know that in southern states, even the Midwest, most parts of the world, most parts of the country, you associate your vegetable garden with earlier in the summer because you have these long, amazing growing seasons and you're getting tomatoes the beginning of July and your corn is knee-high by the 4th of July. Well, I'm lucky if my corn is ankle-high by the 4th of July. And at this point, we don't even have formed ears yet. The green beans are just starting. Zucchini is in full force. In our part of the country, we are starting to really harvest vegetables in August. So it made sense to me, without thinking of the rest of y'all, to have my August FOB release be the Summer Garden set edition. So, I don't know, I can't tell if this is focusing or not, but there's the Summer Garden edition. And when this video goes live, these are going to be being released maybe simultaneously in my Etsy shop, but it might be the next day. I'm not sure when I'm gonna get this video up. So I will show you individually. We have peas. I found this cute vegetable fabric and the back says Sugar Snap Peas. Sorry if you can't see these very well. I can tell that my camera is focusing on my face and not what I hold in front of it. We have a little watering can and some gardening implements. We've got some corn and the lovely Lady Dot mini palm. Doesn't it look like little corn kernels? How cute is that? And I have this fabric on the back that reminds me of corn too. We have a naughty little crow who is stealing some cherry tomatoes from my greenhouse. And there's tomatoes on the back, and I found this clasp on Etsy. It's a little lobster clasp that looks like a bird. Isn't that cute? We have a little row of carrots. Now this motif could be used to make a little mini drum, like the woodpecker and the whale from previous sets. I do have a YouTube tutorial now for making the mini drums. We have broccoli and radishes. You probably hate some of these vegetables, don't you? I actually chose some of my favorites, so my apologies to any broccoli haters out there, but how cute is that? Broccoli and radishes. And then to go along with it, we have cauliflower and beets. Yummy! Roasted, well, I don't roast radishes, but roasted, the other three are like some of the best things in the world. Now, speaking of the cauliflower, when I originally charted it, it was like this. And there was concern because The cauliflower really kind of, it just disappears into the linen. And so my model stitcher, how do I forget what a model stitcher is called? I don't know, but I just did. My model stitcher, Karen, was like, I don't know what vegetable this is, but it's disappearing into the fabric. And so I had to tell her that it's cauliflower. It does look kind of like a little squash. So she suggested the back stitching around it. Well, I have a confession. I absolutely detest back stitching. But it did really make the cauliflower pop a little more, and she was more than happy to do the back stitching, so who am I to say no? An alternative idea would be to put a background like this, so it's like the dirt of the garden. There's the color mocha, and I just realized, sorry Karen, it has the number 18 in the middle for the year, but look what I did. The 18 is going to be sideways. I must have been in a hurry when I was doing that one and definitely not paying attention. Anyway, those are 3 ways you could stitch the cauliflower. If you were to use a darker linen, you could stitch it the original way and the cauliflower would show up nicely. So, for you to decide. And finally, who could have a summer garden fob set without a tomato? And I put the tomato on the strawberry. And there's gonna be more tomatoes on here, you can see, because of the pretty yellow blooms. So, nice little strawberry. So that is the Summer Garden Veggie Fobs. It doesn't say veggie in the title, just Summer Garden Edition. Coming soon to a shop near you. Call up your shop owners and get your order in. You can get them through my Etsy shop if you don't have a local needlework shop, or you can go to one of the many fabulous online shops that carry my designs. There's a bunch of them, and they're all fantastic to work with. So I encourage you to spread your spending around. We're a very close-knit community and we love each other, don't we? All right, what else do I have to show you? Oh, so I'm not going to take these out of the bags, so it might be a little hard for you to see the colors, but I wanted to show you these delicious threads. Can you see those? Is there too much glare? There might be too much glare. I'm so sorry. These are the threads that just came in for the Salty Yarns retreat that I'll be teaching at in October. And before I got them all separated and sorted and put on thread cards for the kits, I wanted to show you how lovely they look when they come from weeks. I just want to leave them like this and just play with them. Wouldn't you? Anyway, those are my colors. I ventured outside of my normal color palette again. I'm trying to challenge myself to do that. It's probably obvious if you look at my designs that I gravitate toward a very similar collection of colors in almost all of my designs. And I try not to make my designs all look the same, but sometimes I look at them and I think, gosh, Beth, you need to be a little more creative. They all just kind of look very much the same to me. And I guess that means I have a style, but I'm trying to push myself to explore and try some new things. And that's where the black came in. And that's where the black came in for this set. And I've got even some purples that I'm using for that retreat piece, and I don't normally use purple. I'm going to cut this video kind of short because my battery light is flashing and I want to get everything in that I want to get in. The last thing is I want to show you my new sampler I just got. My new old sampler. It's a lovely old Dutch sampler from 1837. Just look at it. Just look at it for a minute. Just take it all in. Look at the bunnies. Where are they? Oh, right here. In that house. Yep. I spent way more money on it than I usually budget for antique samplers. But honestly, I just couldn't not. And I know that there's enough of you out there that love reproduction, stitching reproductions, that eventually I should at least get my money back from what I spent for the antique. But I'm going to have to get around to charting it first. And I don't know when that's going to happen. But I thought at least for now I could share the loveliness with you all. And that's going to do it. It's a little bit short. I don't have any adoptions this time. I don't have myself gathered together. But I have kits to assemble and charts to fold. And I'm actually going to go sit down with my laptop and I am going to go do some more binge watching of my recent favorite discovery, which is called Obsessive Compulsive Cleaners. If you haven't seen that show or heard of it, go check it out. It's a British show. It's on YouTube, Obsessive Compulsive Cleaners. And it pairs up people who, some of them have been diagnosed with OCD, some of them have not, but they're all very obsessive cleaners of their own homes. It pairs them up with people who are either hoarders or have gotten themselves through life events into a super messy living situation where their homes are just out of control and dirty. And so these people are confronting their OCD and these people are confronting their hoarding, lack of cleaning issues kind of at the same time and together. And sometimes they're like yelling at each other because this one can't handle the dirt and this one can't handle getting rid of stuff. But by the end, it's interesting that probably 2/3 of them, both the OCD and the hoarders, it's like a therapy. They learn a little bit more about themselves, and that's not the focus of the show, but it's all done with those lovely British accents and sense of humor, and it's fantastic. I think there are at least 4 seasons on YouTube. There might be more. I just started season 2 and I can't stop watching it. So I'm going to be going and sitting at the counter and working on some charts, doing some kit assembly, and watching OCD people. Because I identify a little bit with both the OCD, a little bit of a germaphobe, and I also identify a little bit with the creative side of the hoarders. There's usually a reason, a creative reason why they're keeping stuff. They're an inventor, they're a crafter, they're whatever. There's always a purpose for these things. And it's fun for me because I can see myself in either one of those situations pretty easily. So, I don't know. I think that's all I have to say today. I might throw on some little video or photos at the end. I've got some photos from the retreat that I'll put on at the end, and if I can come up with some recent bee video clips, I'll attach those as well. Until I see you next time, I wish you a lovely end of summer and lots of stitching on the things that make you happy. And if you're stitching on something that isn't making you happy, just put it in timeout, because that's not what it's about. It's about joy and peace and calm and the therapeutic movement of that needle through the thread that we all know is so good for the soul. Take care of yourself until I see you again. Bye-bye. So I didn't have any bee videos, but I thought I would do a little walking tour of, little twilight tour of the grounds maybe. So here's my herb garden. Very first spot that I carved out of this pasture when the house was brand new. There's Freaky the cat. Hi kitty kitty. Hi kitty. You gonna talk to us? Say hi. He wants to rub on my leg and be petted, but certainly not picked up. So, try not to move too quickly. I need to overhaul the bird bath because it won't hold water. So I've been researching methods of refilling or resealing a bird bath in a bird-friendly way, and I just haven't done it yet. The brick paths are kind of the bane of my existence. They're so pretty though. The chickens have been escaping. They've been taking dust baths right up against this edge, and now they've got a hole. So the farm boy is coming on his tractor, and he's gonna move the chicken coop just a little bit to the other side of the hole. The nice thing about having an open bottom chicken coop is you can do things like that. It's not permanent. We move it around all over the garden patch in the wintertime, and in the summer we just kind of keep it stationary down here at the end, and anytime we're weeding, the chickens are running up and down the side because they know that means armloads of fresh weeds to eat. Anytime we come out the side door, they know we're coming with kitchen scraps. They're some very spoiled chickens. They also know when the tractor comes that the coop is going to move, and they're pretty adept at keeping up with the motion, although you're not really going to get to see it because he's only going to move the coop about 2 feet forward. Country life, people. It's late enough, most of the chickens are inside. There it goes. That's about all it takes. Usually they think when the coop moves that means they're going to get a bunch of fresh grass, but it's August and all they're going to get is fresh dirt. And maybe a new hole to get out of. That might be a problem. Hi, ladies. This is a nail biter, ladies and gents. Chicken coop made it a little too far to the left. Ooh. And now he's going to go right over the top of my herbs. All of this with a glass of bourbon in his hand. There we go. That did it.
Fair enough.
Yep. They won't be escaping for a little while.
And they get their destined spot in the middle now.
Yep. Nice spot to get all dusty in this August loveliness. Sunflowers are finally opening. Firewood out in the field, curing in the sun. And I just saw yesterday that the green beans are starting to ripen, which I both look forward to and dread. Anybody who's canned green beans will understand that, because once they start ripening, it's kind of relentless. And you have to use a pressure canner to can green beans. It's a bit of a process. Oh, yep, look. Focus. Nope. There they are. Look at these two bozos. Are you good dogs? Are you good dogs? Huh? Yeah? Hi. Hi, you old geezers. Hi. You say hello to Flosstube? Say hello, Flosstube. These two dogs. Bit long on the ears. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know, you want your dinner, don't you? Hi, Hooch. You want some dinner? Yeah, yeah. Feed me, feed me, feed me. Feed me. Yeah, well. Tractor Boy will be right back with some food, I promise. What I actually came over here to show you, besides my cute little greenhouse, is the last of the blues. There they are. It's been a great year. I've only about 40 pounds off of our bushes this year, but last year we only got like 20, so we're thrilled. That will get our family through the winter months, stocked up on frozen blueberries. Children are nestled all snug in their beds. Mission accomplished. So now we're going to walk around the side of the house. This is where you approach the house from the driveway. Usually greeted by a little black kitty mowing and mowing. My native fireweed fills up that flower bed pretty much. And then all along this side. And last summer, if you followed me at all, you know that we redid our back deck. Same footprint as before, but it sorely needed new decking. We put stairs on the side instead of down the back. Added pergola over the top. We saved a lot of money by doing it ourselves. And this summer, this raised bed is going in. And that's another project that's being done all by hand. This guy's smashed more than one finger putting the rocks in.
Same finger twice.
Same finger twice? Which finger? And the kitties think it's their brand new deluxe bathroom complex. But we're going to fill that up with, it's going to go up, what, another foot and a half. So it'll almost get up to the decking. That way we can get away with not having railing. And if you stumble off the deck, you will smash flowers, but you won't break anything. My laundry hanging. It's a great place to dry laundry. And then over here we'll put in a little fish pond that'll come around this back corner to the other stairs. Hence the railing on this side, because we don't want anybody to fall into the fish pond. It might be funny, but it's not necessarily very safe. Pan back this way. You can see my bird feeder down over this edge. It might be too dark down there. We have a waterfall going into a little fish pond with goldfish and one koi. There's our view. Fire pit down below, which has sadly only been used once this summer. It's been so dry here in the Pacific Northwest, they've got a fire ban, so no open fires. There's my boyfriend. And my most favorite old barn in the world, which I'm never gonna allow to fall down. Did you hear him choking? How that tree's gotten so overgrown you can hardly see the barn. There it is. Barn. Orchard out that way. Lots of apples growing out there this year. Play structure for the kids. The youngest one still uses it. Shop behind that, which houses the bulldozer and the tractor and those kinds of things. The well house, which hosts all of my bee supplies, and the upright freezer. That's where all the blueberries are. And back around to the house. And that's it for now. See you next time.